All right, now the last function in your calculator, I think, um, is a way to deal with cash flows that aren't the same every period. So it's not an annuity because the amounts change. And what we are going to find is the present value of a stream of cash flows and the interest rate given in a stream of cash flows. And we'll talk about in class what NPV, net present value, and IRR, internal rate of return, represent and what they measure. But for the purpose of the video, it's just how to get the calculator to figure it out. So out of the problem that you can't see on the screen, we have the following cash flows, which are here off to the left. And it would be cash flow 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way through cash flow 7. And again, I'm not going to worry about the numbers right now, just how to put them in. But it's very simple. On the HP, you have this button, which is just north of dead center, CFJ, and that is the cash flow for time period J. Now, each time you push that button, whatever is in the display will be entered as the next cash flow, and it will just go in order. So first, for example, each time you push it, when I push it the first time, it's going to say cash flow 0, and whatever's in there is going to go in. The next time I push it, it's going to say cash flow 1, and cash flow 2, and cash flow 3, and so on and so on and so on. So the trick is, you just like with the time value, you have to have the number in the calculator first. Now I'm going to go ahead and clear that because I don't want to start with whatever, cash flow 5. So everything's clear, and we're going to start with cash flow 0. So whatever you put in there first, you type the cash flow 0 first. When you push CFJ, it's going to dump it in. In problems where there is no cash flow 0, specifically when we do the stock pricing, there is no cash flow 0, so you would always enter 0 and then push CFJ to get cash flow 0 out of the way. But in this problem, it is a negative 1.4 million. So kind of just like the regular time value, you're going to start with the number 1,400,000. Again, make it negative with this one, and then push CFJ. And it says cash flow 0, and then it's gone. And then we're at 200,000. So you're just going to type in 200,000 CFJ. And then 240,000 CFJ. 288 CFJ. And that should be cash flow 3. Kind of check. We're good. I have no idea why I picked such a long problem, but I did. 345 600 CFJ, 414 720, which was cash flow 5 CFJ, 497 664 cash flow 6, and finally 300,000 for cash flow 7 CFJ. Okay, you've done all the hard stuff. Everything's in the calculator. Once the cash flows are in, it's very simple. To compute net present value, you're going to put in a rate, and it goes in just like the regular time value. So in this problem, it is 12%. So 12 is the interest rate, I/YR, and you're going to compute net present value. You'll see it underneath the price key. So do the orange shift and NPV. And there you get it, 17,685.82. All right. Now, to compute internal rate of return, you're already there. Once the numbers are all in, the next button, if you see the NPV is here. If you look to the left in the middle under the cost function, is IRR per year, and that is it. And you just do Shift IRR, and you get 12.35%. That's it. Now, the IRR is a percentage. The NPV is a dollar number, but those are the numbers, and that's how the calculations are made. Just be careful. Make sure you start with cash flow 0. It may be 0, but if there is one, it'll probably be negative. If you don't make it negative, you're not going to get an IRR. It will still compute NPV, but when you do IRR, you will get an error. So if you're entering cash flow 0, it's going to have to be negative for anything that will do, and in most cases that will be the situation. Well, that's it. You can play around with it, and I think we are done.